Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsir Namshar. On the News Mongolia today, Mongolia and China signed key agreements to advance energy, industry and infrastructure projects. Mongolia sees a surge of passenger and cargo transport with a notable increase in foreign tourism. Jaipur food project concludes in Mongolia, providing 650 prosthetic limbs with support from India. For the news, stay tuned. During the visit of Prime Minister of Mongolia, Oyun-erdene, to China, the countries formalized agreements to advance a strategic collaboration across several sectors, notably energy, industry, and mining. These agreements are central to Mongolia's ambitious plan to implement 14 mega projects and 14 systemic reforms over the next 4 years.
Mongolia seeks to draw on China's experience to expedite these projects, build joint initiatives, secure funding, and develop human resources for both immediate and long-term benefits. The visit resulted in the signing of 8 cooperation documents: Loan Agreement for the Irtenburg Hydropower Plant Project, Loan Agreement for Enhanced Access, Quality and Control in Telecommunications, Letter of Understanding to develop a presidential sports complex, Memorandum of Understanding on Green Development Investment between Mongolia's Ministry of Economy and Development and China's Ministry of Commerce, Memorandum of Understanding on Standards and Metrology Cooperation between Mongolia's Standards Agency and the China's State Administration for Market Regulation, Memorandum of Understanding on Antitrust Collaboration between Mongolia's Anti-Monopoly Agency and China's State Administration for Market Regulation, Protocol on Veterinary and Sanitary Standards for Exports to enable Mongolian exports of animal feed proteins and fats to China, Agreement on Joint Construction of the Kashin-Sokhat-Kansmot Cross-Border Railway Bridge. These agreements unlock key projects, particularly the Irtenburg Hydropower Plant and the Kashin-Sokhat-Kansmot Cross-Border Railway Bridge, both of which have faced delays. Now, with support from China's $1 billion General Loan Agreement, funding is assured for 11 priority projects, including the $253 million hydropower plant project, marking significant progress in Mongolia's development agenda.
The Ministry of Road and Transport of Mongolia announced that a total of 125.3 million passengers were transported across all modes of transport in the first 10 months of the year.
According to the ministry's breakdown, road transport served 121.7 million passengers, air transport handled 1.9 million, and railways transported 1.6 million passengers. Notably, air travel saw an impressive 27% increase in passengers compared to the same period last year. During the first 9 months of 2024, 626,000 inbound foreign visitors were recorded. Of this, 89.5% stayed up to 30 days, 0.3% stayed more than 60 days, 1.1% stayed up to 90 days, and 9.1% stayed over 90 days. By nationality, Chinese tourists comprise 26.9%, Russians and South Koreans each accounted for 25.4%, Japanese 3.2%, Kazakh 3%, American 2.2%, and 13.9% came from other countries. Among foreign visitors, the majority arrived from East Asia and the Pacific, followed by Europe at 31.4%, the Americas at 2.7%, the Middle East at 1.2%, and South Asia and Africa at 0.9%. Compared to the previous year, international tourism saw notable growth. Visitors from China increased by 61.5% or up by 49,200. Those from South Korea rose by 29.5% or up by 36,500. Taiwanese visitors more than doubled or up by 5,900. Kazakh visitors grew by 21.1% or up by 3,500, and Japanese tourists increased by 31.6% or up by 5,100, according to the National Statistics Office of Mongolia. In terms of cargo transport, a total of 107 million tons were moved across all modes of transportation. This included 70.5 million tons via road, 36.5 million tons by railway, and 8,500 tons by air. Overall, cargo transportation grew by 20.5% year-over-year. More specifically, road cargo volume rose by 24.2%, while rail cargo increased by 14% compared to the same period in 2023.
Mongolia's Jaipur Food Project, a collaborative humanitarian initiative funded by the Indian government, has successfully concluded after equipping 650 Mongolian citizens with free prosthetic limbs. The project, which ran for 44 days, offered life-changing support to individuals with disabilities across the country, with a closing ceremony held at the National Rehabilitation Center for Children with Disabilities in Songkhla.
The Jaipur Food Project, a global initiative providing prosthetic limbs to people with disabilities, was first launched in India in 1975. This initiative has since expanded to 45 countries, benefiting over 2.2 million people. In Mongolia, the project was launched on September 26th of this year in partnership with the Ministry of Family, Labor and Social Protection, the Ministry of Health, and the General Directorate of Development of People with Disabilities. The project was fully funded by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs and implemented by BMVSS, an Indian organization renowned for its expertise in prosthetic technology. During the 44-day project in Mongolia, Indian and Mongolian specialists worked together to provide customized artificial limbs at the National Rehabilitation Center in Songkhla. Utilizing Jaipur Food's innovative and cost-effective rapid fit approach, the team was able to fit prosthetics for approximately 15 people each day. In total, 645 prosthetic devices were fitted, including 298 above knee, 308 below knee, and 39 arm prosthetics. The project not only provided new prosthetic limbs but also offered valuable training for local Mongolian specialists. Technicians and experts from rehabilitation centers across Mongolia worked alongside Indian prosthetists and orthotists, gaining new skills and techniques in prosthetic fitting and rehabilitation. This collaboration has laid the groundwork for Mongolia to enhance its own prosthetic and rehabilitation services in the future.
We are thankful for the Indian government and Indian Embassy in Mongolia, and our center, Rehabilitation Center for Children with Disabilities, play a main role in this project. So what we did during this project is we provided our physical therapists and psychologists and also prosthetic specialists during this project, and they gave meaningful counseling services and also provided meaningful trainings for the patients throughout the project. And so far, our specialists contributed over 650 patients, and that's like how we contributed to this project.
Lives of the Mongolian people are become self-reliant. After the getting of limb, patient can walk individually, and some patients are coming in the morning, and end of the day we fit the artificial limb, and they are very happy when they get the limb, because after the amputation they knows how they spend whole their life on chair. So this thing is very impactful and stressful for those people who were spending their time on wheelchair. So they become very grateful and they are very happy when they get the limb and they walk with dignity. This is the main.
With 100% support from India, prosthetics have been provided to over 600 citizens in Mongolia. Moving forward, Mongolia has the capacity to fully provide service and maintenance for these 600 individuals nationwide. This is possible because there is a prosthetic manufacturing plant in Mongolia, along with one private facility. At these facilities, prosthetics can be serviced, maintained, and updated as needed. We see complete potential for collaboration in providing raw materials and addressing related issues jointly.
As the project concludes, Mongolian agencies are looking into ways to ensure continuous support for the individuals who received prosthetic limbs. The Ministry of Family, Labor and Social Protection has announced plans to coordinate with local rehabilitation centers to provide ongoing assistance, including maintenance and replacement services for the prosthetic limbs as needed. The Jaipur Food Project in Mongolia stands as a testament to the power of international collaboration in humanitarian work, positively transforming the lives of hundreds of people. Through the dedication of both Indian and Mongolian specialists, this initiative has not only provided new limbs, but also instilled renewed hope and mobility for the beneficiaries.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
On November 6, Prime Minister Oyurtan Losanamsra, during his visit to China, met with Ms. Wenjia Tam, President of Public Affairs at the Alibaba Group in Hangzhou. Their discussions centered upon potential collaborations with a focus on technology and development projects that could be of benefit to Mongolia. In meetings with Chinese leaders, including Premier Li Qian, Oyurtan agreed to prioritize cooperation on railways, hydropower, and advanced technological ventures. Alibaba plans to assist Mongolia in enhancing digital capabilities, particularly in transportation and port systems, as part of Mongolia's state productivity revival policy. Ms. Tan highlighted Alibaba's expertise in smart city technology and e-commerce, proposing initiatives to support Mongolian tourism and digital infrastructure.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's shift our focus to international news from our partner agencies. Israel's parliament passed a law early Thursday that would allow it to deport family members of Palestinian attackers, including the country's own citizens, to the war-ravaged Gaza Strip or other locations.
The law, which was championed by members of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party and his far-right allies, passed with a 61-41 vote, but is likely to be challenged in court. It would apply to Palestinian citizens of Israel and residents of annexed East Jerusalem who knew about their family members' attacks beforehand or who expressed support or identification with the act of terrorism. They would be deported either to the Gaza Strip or another location for a period of 7 to 20 years. The Israel-Hamas war is still raging in Gaza, where tens of thousands have been killed and most of the population has been internally displaced, often multiple times. It was unclear if it would apply in the occupied West Bank, where Israel already has a long-standing policy of demolishing the family homes of attackers. Palestinians have carried out scores of stabbing, shooting, and car-ramming attacks against Israelis in recent years. Palestinians living in Israel make up around 20% of the country's population.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next week with more news and updates. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.